Welcome back to Capitol Review. I'm Mark Hall. The inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump is Monday, and some Americans are looking forward to his presidency while others are not. It's a tough topic of conversation to have in the workplace, social settings, and even at times at home. And joining us now is Dr. Jay Houston. He is the author of Emotional Intelligence for Politics and Media. And the focus of his book is how to discuss Donald Trump without conflict. And Dr. Houston, welcome to Capitol Review.
Thank you for having me, Mark. Awesome to be here on your show.
We're glad to have you. Talk about why you decided to write this book.
You know, Mark, it was a long journey towards realizing exactly how Donald Trump, at the time when he was first coming into politics about 8 to 10 years ago, was reminding me of a long-term former friend of mine. Not just him, but the reactions of everybody around him. As you know, Mark, people either love Donald Trump and think he's a hero, a patriot, or they think he is maybe the worst political candidate to run for the highest political office in the land. And so seeing how the reaction of everybody else was around him made me do a little bit of investigation into the emotional intelligence and the emotional manipulations of narcissists, which turned up, evidently, how Donald Trump is manipulating all of us, and I mean liberals and MAGA as well.
Well, you know, you also talk about in section 2 of your book, focusing on exploring the challenges, and you talk about the news media and self-awareness.
Yes, Mark. So, as you know, we're in the entertainment business here, and blurring the line between entertainment and information is sometimes where news media, I just want people to be self-aware of where they're seeing the difference between entertainment and information, and being able to realize where that is in the news media is a part of the book.
How has the book been received so far?
So far, it's been great. But I still want to be able to get it out a little bit more to be able to understand exactly where. Here's a key point. A lot of liberals are thinking, well, Donald Trump is telling exactly MAGA what they want to be able to hear. Donald Trump gets a lot of funding from corporate entities within the Republican contingencies. But I think Donald Trump manipulates liberals just as well, and that's a key point. A lot of liberals sort of lose their mind when he says things in speeches and writes things on social media, and I want them to be aware that narcissists manipulate their targets to be seen as people who are emotionally unstable to their constituencies. So every time liberals go off, every time liberals are having some sort of meltdown, if you will, because of something Donald Trump says, that is seen by his constituents as them being the problem.
You wrote open letters to liberals, MAGA, and what you also look at as mainstream Republicans. Talk about that.
Mainstream Republicans, I want them to be able to set guidelines around Donald Trump for his next, for his upcoming presidency. I want them to be able to see exactly where he's going to maybe go over the lines, including maybe blurring out some of the media that calls him out on some of the things that he does and then talks about. I want liberals to be able to recognize exactly what we talked about before in terms of them being emotionally manipulated as well by some of his outbursts. And then I want Make America Great Again to do their homework. I want them to be able to see exactly where Donald Trump in some ways reminds a lot of people, and we talk about this briefly in the book, of the second coming of Adolf Hitler. And that sounds crazy. It sounds irresponsible to be able to say that. So some of the things we outline in the book is to say, here is a guideline, MAGA, if you believe it is absolute bunk to be able to compare this man to Adolf Hitler, here's exactly where you can go down and say, bit by bit, doing your homework, saying it's either great or it's not.
So how do we move forward collectively with the new administration, and is it also up to the president-elect to do his part?
It is up to Donald Trump to be able to do his part, but I just would like for us to be able to use one of the emotional intelligence tenets of 6 versus 9. Mark, if I take this paper and put a 6 on the back of it, and show it to you. Is it a 6 or is it a 9? And from your perspective, it could be one or the other.
Right.
And we would argue each other down as to which one is correct. Just want people to be able to understand there's always a different perspective when it comes to emotional intelligence, including with Donald Trump.
Dr. Jay Houston, thank you very much for joining us on Capitol Review. Appreciate it. Thank you.